Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play Sims 3 on Saturdays. So, with Blake and Riley here, Riley went to her first day of school, and I decided to have her do her homework with Blake together. I think they're kind of doing it together. They're both in the same room, and I think they're talking about. You can see how Blake is like, I don't like school. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure that they get a decent education. I believe in education very much, and so I always make sure my Sims, try and be good students, if nothing else. I try not to have them skip school and things. It's just a thing. But here, Blake decides, I guess because it's a full moon, that he needs to wolf out. He is a teen wolf, after all. Oh, and for those of you, I think there's some TV show nowadays called Teen Wolf or something now, whatever, but when I think of Teen Wolf, I still think of the Michael J. Fox movie. So, if I ever make references to Teen Wolf, I'm talking about the movie and not and not whatever the new thing is. I've seen some mention of it, but I haven't actually seen it, so not entirely sure what I'm talking about there, except I know it's not the Michael J. Fox movie that I remember watching in the 80s that I really liked. I thought he did a fabulous job on that. Now if I could just get get Blake to surf on top of a car while it's driving, that would be awesome. But I don't think the game allows you to do that. Or win a basketball game. You can't even see them play basketball. They can have a sports career, but if they're actually with a team or something, they go into a rabbit hole, so it's, no fun there. Alright, so once they finish their homework, I allowed them to have some fun time. They have this really cool kind of 3D video game thing, so I have them play that together. And of course, Aria is still practicing her guitar. She's on level 9 now. She's almost maxed out her guitar skills. So once she's done that, and she's like level 6 or 7 now with charisma, so she just needs to finish the guitar and max out her charisma skills and get her lifetime wish, which is kind of cool. And poor Dad, you can see he's really, really strained. Well, I don't actually show him in this clip, but he's been working where he's on call now, and so he'll come home, have dinner, go to bed, and then he'll have to go to the hospital at 3 in the morning and then work until 6, and then he gets home just in time to go back to work. I mean, the poor guy is just overworked. Okay, so I decided, since I'm just not doing anything really that interesting with Riley and Blake at the moment, they are going to prom, but that's not going to be in this episode. Just because Blake asked Riley to prom like really early in the week, and I think the prom is the coming Sunday, and so there's like a whole week's worth of them just kind of going to school, coming home, doing their homework, and that kind of thing. But I decided to send Mom to the future to check out the changes that might have happened. So one thing you'll notice here is we now have descendants in 2 different houses. So these ones here on Ascension Avenue we've met before. We've met that family, but now we have a whole new family over here on Serenity Drive, and so I thought, well, maybe let's go meet these guys. We met the other ones. Let's go meet these ones. I've had Aria come back and visit the other family again. I didn't include the footage because there was a message about something changing, but I didn't notice anything different about them, so. But it's interesting now that we have 2 households instead of just 1. And I don't know if that's because the game is thinking that Blake and Riley might, since they're both considered Swans now, that they might separately have families. Because my evil plan is to have the 2 of them get married, actually. They seem to get along pretty well. And I just want to see what happens when an imaginary friend who becomes real gets married. And so, gets married, has children, that kind of thing. But I don't necessarily want to have to manage 2 different Sims growing up. So getting Riley and Blake, because I want to keep following Blake, And I don't want them to, you know, if they're gonna continue to live together, they might as well be in a relationship, in my opinion. So, so it'll be interesting to see if the two of them actually ultimately end up getting married and having a child together. What's going to happen in the future? Are these two separate families that we now have go away if we merge the two of them? Now, obviously, if Riley had been adopted, I don't think that she and Blake get married, but since she's an imaginary friend come to life, and that they've been able to have a romantic relationship, because I don't think the game allows you to do incestuous things in the game, but it doesn't consider Riley a sibling, therefore there's no kind of revulsion to romance, which is why they've been able to make out. I haven't been able to get them to woohoo yet. I don't know if, I think teens can woohoo, but anywho, so we're finally at the house, and here's one of our future relatives. It's again the crazy Sims 3 team with their crazy sense of fashion and hairstyles strikes yet again. I think she looks hideous, but that's just me. Of course, first thing, I think Aria's just really anxious to hit level 10 on her guitar, so she's whipping that guitar out anytime she can now at this point. Alright, and I guess, you know, she's actually getting some charisma points for this chit-chat and stuff, but she's kind of tired, so she chit-chats with her for a while. There's another gal in the household that we meet, and we kind of get to know a little bit. It seems to be very difficult to get to know these folks. We talk to them, but we don't really get a lot of information out of them in terms of what they're actually like. Here I decided to take a look at the Almanac of Time. Right now we're in a normal future. We can't change the type of future here in the future. You have to go in the past, and then you can trigger an event to cause either a dystopian or utopian future, which I may play around with that at some point. We'll see. In fact, I might just make a save game branch and see where it takes me and see if I like it before I commit to it. But that may be, I think I'll wait until after I get Riley and Blake to the prom and that kind of thing. And I think probably I'm going to lean towards the utopian future and not the dystopian. I'm not a big fan of dystopian futures. Alright, so here's another family member. And I really don't like those dresses very much. I don't think and that haircut. And she actually she's dressed very similar to the other family member in the other household, with the same hairstyle and dress. So it's interesting. I wonder what the actual relationship connections are here. I don't think I've gotten to know any of them well enough to actually see their family tree branches and stuff like that. I just know that they're future relatives of ours. But anyway, so we're getting to know them, just kind of getting a feel for the different changes that have happened. Again, I just think it is interesting that we have two households now instead of one. So it'll be interesting to see what happens again if Blake and Riley decide to hook up. Alright, so we're done kind of meeting the relatives, and Aria really wanted to check out the wastelands, so I thought I'd have her go out to the wastelands. And then we're going to wrap things up after that, just because one of the things I discover while I'm out here, because I come across this crash site, and I'm trying to find the key to open the door, and I realize that I can't put the key fragments together. I ended up actually finding all of them, which I didn't include all the footage for. But it turns out that I can't get them put together unless I talk to Emmett, the time traveler, and he's not going to help out unless you finish several other quests first for him, and I can't ask him to give me a new one because apparently I'm already on one, but I don't know which quest it is because there's no opportunities in my opportunity list. So I'm kind of stuck there. If any of you are still watching and you're, do you know how to, like, I've been looking online and I can't find a list of what the different opportunities are. I know the last time I was in the future, I had to play with a Simbot and convince it to tell me the purpose of its programming, and then change out its trait chips, that kind of thing. And I don't think I ever went back to talk to Emmett when I was done with that. I just went back to the past, and I don't know if I screwed things up by going back to the past before talking to him and turning in, like, hey, yes, I've finished this. Or, and he's not telling me what, like, if there is something else I still need to do before I talk to him again, he's not telling me what that something is that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm like, I'm stuck, basically. But once you get the quest for it, from what I read, is that you do this excavation throughout the wastelands, and you pick up the 4 different mystery pieces, and then you take it back to Emmett, and he'll turn it into a key for you, and then you go here, and you can unlock the door, and you can find out what's inside the crash site. So I may or may not, if I ever figure out how to get past my current dilemma with things, then I'll end up going ahead and fixing that, so that I can actually do these properly. Yeah, here I'm just selling some stuff while she's excavating. Alright, and then she finds this crystal plant, and I'm going to take some of the, oh yeah, some more selling there, but I'm going to take this stuff back into the past and then see if I can't grow a crystal plant in the past as well. I think that might be interesting. I don't know. So sorry that there wasn't a heck of a lot going on here. Yeah, see, here's the mysterious pieces. I'm trying to put them together, and they won't let me. Oh yeah, and I do a little bit of exploring while she's gathering and stuff. Trying to kind of check out the wastelands in general. So we've got this crash site, but we've got, like, this is like the former ocean and stuff. And so there's like boats and abandoned beach houses and that kind of thing that are around here. So it's a wasteland. But yeah, so here you can see I'm like checking this out, and it's like, oh, look at that, there's an old abandoned houseboat that we can't really do anything with. You can walk around it, but you can't go in it and stuff. And then there's a derelict beach. So it's a little beach thing that's still there, and obviously still maintained because it's got flowers and stuff, but there's no ocean for it anymore. It's just endless beach now. Alright, well, I think that's going to be it for this week. Thank you for joining me. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.